First, I find that, and I must be very careful what I say here, that the AP poll puts Texas as number one. Second, I find that the Dallas Cowboys, after a slow start, are now tied for number one in their division. Now, third, I understand that SMU isn't having its best year, and I'm very proud tonight that the SMU band, as I understand, for the first time for what is labeled as a political event, is here. I appreciate your coming. I shall keep my remarks as non-political as I can under the circumstances. I can only say in that respect, however, and now, my friends, since this is a state that thinks of itself and is very proud of its number one teams and its number one band, I'll tell you that I'm very proud to be standing here with what I think is a team of champions, George Bush and Paul Eggers, your great candidates for the Senate and the governorship. I would like for you to consider, for example, the fact that in this election campaign, there are vitally important issues that involve the future of all Americans. They involve the future of particularly young Americans. They are ones that involve your vote on November 3rd, and they are ones that I would like to address myself to, not in partisan terms, but in the terms that I know you in this state appreciate and understand. And what you want first of all, of course, and what we all want, is peace. Peace at home and peace abroad. And when we think of that, we think of the war in Vietnam and the record of this administration, and I want to tell you about that. What we have done is that after 5 years of men going into Vietnam, we've been bringing them home. And now I come to another point. This is the problem of peace at home, that there is going to be respect for law and justice and order in this country, something that we must have if we're going to be able to stand for law and order in the world. A third promise that I made in the campaign had to do with another problem that concerns every American family, and that is how you balance your family budget. Let us put it this way. Unless we cut the federal budget, you're not going to be able to balance the family budget, and we need support on that proposition. However, I determined then that we had to examine the programs, because I found that in program after program, we were putting billions of dollars into old programs, and they weren't working. And now I think after 190 years of power going from the people and from the states to Washington, it's time to turn it around and have the power come back to the states and back to the people of Texas and all of the other states of this nation. There are many other programs that I could discuss, but one in particular, I think, needs to be discussed very frankly, very honestly, because I understand it's become an issue in this campaign. That's the question of our welfare program. Everybody in this great audience wants to see to it that any family in this country, and particularly children, do have an adequate income, because this country should be able to afford that if they need it. But my friends, I say also that when a man is able to work, when he's trained for a job, when he's offered a job and refuses to work, that man should not be paid the loaf by a hard-working taxpayer in the United States of America. I have outlined these programs for you to give you a broad sweep of what we've been trying to do, to bring real peace for a generation abroad, to restore peace, respect for law at home, a program of progress for Americans, progress without inflation, a program in which we can have real prosperity, prosperity without war, and a program of reform of the institutions of government, in which government comes back to the people where it belongs and to the states, and in which we reform those institutions that are draining from the American people funds that could better be used for other purposes. This can happen in America. This is what we stand for in this administration, and I say to you that these principles that I have outlined tonight, and think back what I said a moment ago, they are not Republican, they are not Democrat, they are what are best for America, and George Bush stands for those things and for what is best for America.